Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Ronald Regan Fox. Centuries Fox to come and for generations to come. The things I talk about are in local communities in the West. I'm talking about Sweden, Germany, Norway, Finland, Belgium, France, United States, Canada. Things that are helping everybody around the world, both in Africa, in the United States, on international level. Now, today I've got a point about the Western community because we are living in the West. If you're living in the West anywhere, you are in Mexico, United States, Canada, and everywhere, so long as you're living in the West, because in the West we have a lot of experimentations, and they do lots of experiments on people, and they do lots of work, and they revise your work. They investigate because they learn from people, from local people. Sometimes they can learn from you and develop their community. But the point I'm trying to say today is about while they are doing experiments into their survey in their society to improve on their society, sometimes they make mistakes. So there are many episodes that are happening, or many accidents that will happen into any experiment that the West does in their communities. That's why you see a lot of people who have got a lot of complications or conditions into their society, because people are living in like laboratories. So when I talk about laboratories, because most of the things here is all about chemicalizing food, chemicalizing society for experimentation. They do lots of experiments. So in case of doing experiments to find out the answers for solutions over any episode or over any problem they got, or any epidemic they have to do experiments. So while they are doing experiments in local community, you end up finding that they do mistakes and then make it right. Now, you guys out there, are you the one to be experimented on to make sure they get the answer, or are you above it? Because they don't have a definite answer. For example, when I talk about science is about experiments. But there is no definite answer that you're going to be okay, everything is going to be fine, or it's going to be okay. It's all about experiments to get the outcome of the results of the experiment, so that they can find an answer for a solution over an episode, over any research that they're trying to do. So once again, as I'm telling you, because there is a lot of laboratories, there is a lot of examinations, there is a lot of things that are not right. I'm talking about that sometimes the experiments they make and the results they get, they use it against people, and they detect people according to the experiments that they have made and the answers they have got under their detection over their experiments. Hope you guys gonna understand this. I'm gonna explain very simple for everybody to understand. Let me put it down. What I'm trying to say right here is that if they make an experiment and know the movement of people, or the mood of an individual, or the thinking of somebody, or the way community is moving in some area code, they can use the same technique or the same logic to destroy another race. They can use the same technique under their survey to stop the other person from performing or detection of something right now, and to affect one race, because they have more intelligence and more intellect and more experiments about their survey. So sometimes they use it on people who are ignorant people. For example, I'm trying to say, right, in Africa, some people don't have experimentations over lots of things through laboratories. They don't read the thermometer that this product can work like this, because in Africa there's natural creation. In Brazil or multicultural background, you don't need to test a mango, or you don't need to know how much temperature the mango can have, or how much you can put in the fridge to get the good apple, how much you can do to make sure that you get a good result of the temperature, because the other one is natural creation. Natural creation, everything is done naturally. It's God-given weather condition and environment whereby everything comes out pure and natural. So there is no too much laboratory examinations. But in the West, where everybody lives, in Sweden, in Germany, in Schengen, and everywhere, everything is about experimentation. Everything is about laboratory testing. Can you drink good water? Can you put it in the fridge? How much percentage of temperature? How much time do you need to do this experiment? And what is the good milk you can drink? Because when you leave it for 2-3 days, it's not gonna be off date, or it's not gonna be right. The mango, how can you get it? Can you get it fresh? Everything is laboratory made. So there's a lot of complications and a lot of problems that is happening in the West because of laboratory made chemicalized production. You guys please think about it very carefully. Everything that is artificially made, there are consequences towards it. That's why anywhere you go, any prescription you read, everything you read, they say they have side effect, or there are some consequences over that. Because for them, even themselves, they know that they don't have a definite answer over the experiment. But it's all about an experiment to make sure that they get an answer. So there's always going to be problems, there's always going to be accidents, but it's up to you to be smart enough to read and understand and take care of your life out there, to make sure that you do good, because there's a lot of tragedies and a lot of episodes and a lot of mistakes will always happen because it's experimentational environment called experiment world, laboratory productions. Everything is artificial, everything is chemicalized. They have to get answers, they have to read everything. It's man-made things in the West. So there's no natural creation. So you guys out there, be careful, read, understand, and make sure you have the knowledge. Ignorance is not good. The more you don't have the information towards something, is the more you fall in the trap. So you guys think about it. Today's topic, as I told you once again, is about experimentation of things in the West, but they use it against other people who are ignorant, and people who are ignorant, or people who don't have the information, or people who don't know there's something, they fall in the trap over the experiments, over the professionals and those who are doing the experiments in the West. Sometimes they use it against people. So you guys go out there and survey what I'm trying to say and review it. You gotta get to the right point. Help everybody get it. Experimentation, disadvantages of experimentations and laboratory surveys, and what they do for those experiments, to experiment them on human beings. Nice to meet you once again. Nice to talk to you. Century Fox. Everything I say is just common sense, and it happens everywhere in local communities in the West. Everything is true. Bye-bye.